I appreciate y'all being here. Just want to start by just saying how proud I am of our players. Once again, just going back and having a chance to watch the film and grade it all, and just the fight and just the toughness and the grit to be able to stay the course, even though we got behind. And even in the second half when they scored and we were down by 17 again, and our guys just kept battling. So just a testament to their character, and they're just staying together. And tough physical conditions with the weather, and very tough football team that I respect for them and how hard their kids play and the talent that they have. So just really want to kind of mention a few guys. We had some players of the game that we want to recognize. Offensively, Sean Shivers and Luke Haggard. Thought Luke played his best game since he's been here. Sean obviously had a big run for us, but just the whole offense not turning the ball over. Dexter Williams just protecting the football, running the football well. Obviously Sean went over 100 yards. Dexter went over 100 yards and ran for about 260. Offensive line play was huge, and just a testament to those guys and Coach Bell and what he did with our staff there to get those guys ready. And then defensively, recognized four guys as players of the game. Fitzy playing his first game at linebacker, 14 tackles, tackle for loss, unbelievable. Tied T. Gray Scales for that, which is just amazing because there's lack of practice reps at that position. Really has been minimal, and just playing football, eyes right. Great tackler, just really impressed with him. John Haynes thought he played his best game since he's been here. James Head, he blocked the field goal there in overtime, and then Monster just played tough and physical, and just really proud of him and the way he led our secondary because by moving Fitzy to linebacker, really needed him to step up verbally in the back end to be able to run things. And so those four guys were our players of the game on defense. And then Jalen Lucas and Noah Pierre, to the two special teams players of the game. I mean, what can you say about Jalen? The only player in the country to have two kickoff returns for touchdowns this season. And the whole unit, we call that unit the house call unit, and those guys all did a great job. And Noah Pierre, just phenomenal play on special teams. Cover, caused a fumble. We didn't get it, but we caused a fumble on one of our punts. And kickoff coverage is phenomenal. And I'll also say this, Sean Shivers covered 6 kicks. Matter of fact, he covered the very kick after he ran him. We actually took him out, and he said, no, I'm not coming out. And he wanted to stay on that. He just knew how important these guys buy in. Also, Aaron Casey, just this whole week, missed pretty much the whole week with an injury, didn't get to practice hardly at all, and but played his tail off. So just a lot of guys. Cam Jones right now is a tremendous leader on the sideline, locker room. Didn't play in the game, but, man, just huge value to our team. And I could go on and on and on about the guys. So just really proud of them. And the scouts of the week as well in their preparation. Wish they could have been in the locker room with us. We actually did some pictures here afterwards with those guys so they could be a part of it with this platoon. But Max Williams and Brady Simmons, offensive scouts of the week. And then we had Mitchell Evans, Liam Zacchiao, and Drew Pierce, defensive scouts of the week. And then special team scouts, Will Johnson and Liam Zacchiao. So guys continue to just give us tremendous effort. And I've said this, our teams continue to practice hard. Didn't always show up on game day. Finally did. Their perseverance and toughness and fight showed up. We had 3 fourth-down stops by our defense. Those don't count as takeaways, but they really are. And just huge momentum shifters. Just the one takeaway gave us 3 points, which was the difference in the game. So total team effort, total team win. Just proud of our guys and just staying together and continue to fight. Obviously, this week is a tremendous challenge and opportunity to play the Boilermakers here at home for the Old Oaken Bucket. Just unbelievable passion for this game from our fan base and from our team and our players, and know that Purdue's a really good football team. A lot of respect for Coach Brom and what he's doing there and how their team plays. And so they've got a lot of talented football players in all 3 phases, and really have to come together and play our best football one last time here at home. So got a great group of seniors that I love and respect. A lot of guys here have played a lot of football for us and want to send them out the right way. So I'm going to have to earn this one, just like you always do. But appreciate the effort this past weekend. That one's in the past now. Build off of that, take that momentum into this week, and got to have our best week of preparation and have to play our best game collectively on Saturday. Questions?
Tom, this will be, this senior group in particular is kind of your first group in a way. It's a lot of guys that signed after you got the job or were part of your first recruiting class, guys obviously like Bryant or Devon that have stuck around. Cam, I know he hasn't been playing, but have stuck around kind of basically the maximum time. I mean, just what is Saturday going to be like for you? And with the small number of guys like Taiwan that in theory could have another year, when do you kind of initiate the conversation for them? Because I imagine at the same time guys will want to look at the NFL or maybe just to feel like they played a lot of football.
Yeah, so first of all, just the senior class, yeah, it's a special group. Like you said, there's some 6-year guys in there that have been here a long, long time. Came in with the first class that was here that we recruited that whole year. Just all the effort they've given us. They've been a part of the breakthrough in 19 and 20, and they persevered through a tough year last year, and then this year's been challenging as well. And so, a special group of guys that I have a lot of respect for, tremendous love for, and it's going to be an emotional day, to be honest. But at the same time, we work together, fight together, cry together, laugh together, and I want us to have one awesome finish to this group of guys' time together here at Memorial Stadium. So couldn't have a better opportunity than to play in your rival game at home with a group of seniors that have come here to create change and have been a part of that change and want to finish off the right way, and the chance to win both of our trophy games would be huge. So a lot of emotion there. And then the guys, like you mentioned, that have to make decisions, we'll kind of do it like we usually do. They'll have a chance to hear from the NFL scouts and how they view them, get their evaluation from them, and then we'll sit down with their families and talk that decision through. A little bit different this year. The NCAA has given us, it's actually a dead week. Usually we would be out recruiting the Sunday morning right after we play the game on Saturday, and now that week is dead, and for the purpose of being able to be with you guys. So we'll meet with all the players, so it won't be as urgent as far as meeting with them right away that first thing in the morning. So, but like we did last year, but at the same time, it'll all happen that next week and have a chance to sit down with families and talk it through. So, but like I said, don't have the same number of guys in that situation, but do have a few. And so we always just want to make sure they know we want to help them to make the best decision for themselves and make sure they have all the information that they need. And then they, as a family, have to make that call, and then we'll support them either way.
During the 7-game losing streak, you guys were in 4 of those games, either leading tied or trailing by 7 or fewer heading into the fourth quarter. Same situation this week, this past week. How important was it for them to just get the win to change the attitude in the building for this coming week?
Oh, yeah. I think you can't even state how critical that was and how big it is for us. Because you keep talking about it. You've asked me fair questions about how do you turn it? How do you get a different result? And I think the answer is you stay the course, and you continue to look for ways to find, different ways of doing things, which we've done, and to get a different result. But you got to experience it. You can sit here and talk about it. You got to finally, make those plays, because it comes down to it. You got to make critical plays in those moments at the end. And we went through today and just highlighted those critical plays, whether it's special teams. I mean, if you talk about the Jalen Lucas kickoff return, they had just taken the lead. Again, that was kind of we just shouldn't have given up that run the way we did anyway. So it happened, and then what are you going to do? And so that unit made a game-changing play, and then we had some key fourth down stops, and offense takes the ball and goes down, scores, and Sean Shivers pops that long run. So just all those things combined, it was guys making plays in those moments. You can talk about overtime, the emotions of that, and then coming down and getting that touchdown, and then getting the 2-point conversion was massive for the psyche of our defense taking the field and just knowing, hey, we just gotta get one more stop. And it comes down to fourth down, and then Noah makes a great play in the end zone. So just players in those moments rising up and making critical plays, whether it's on offense, defense, or special teams. And even you take for granted the field goal, the 40-yard field goal that Charles Campbell kicks, after we get the takeaway, that ends up being a game changer. You don't go to overtime if you don't have that field goal. So every phase of the game came together, and that's how you got to win those close games. And we've unfortunately, had our fair share of frustrations not finishing games out this season. And to be that close is just, kind of sickening, because you got a good football team that just needs to, keep fighting together, get a few more guys back and each week and try to get one more guy have a chance to make a play that provides a difference in the game. So fortunately, we were able to do that. We feel very blessed, and man, it's a great feeling to be able to know that these guys stuck together. Because you know what, in that environment, on the road, the weather the way it was, being down by the way we were at halftime, and then even in the middle of the fourth or third quarter, man, what character and resilience that these guys showed. So really proud of them.
Tom, the transfer portal and college football, quote-unquote, free agency has changed everything so much that really your conversations next week are with your roster top to bottom and such. How much does it help, considering how tough these last couple of months have been, for all those guys to enjoy the euphoria of that win on the field and in the locker room and on the flight home and that, just to have a good taste back in their mouth after a rough couple of months?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know that you can put a value on it that would, justifiably explain it. I think that, we are in a different era. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. Never thought it would ever become this, when you first start coaching, and probably even 5 or 6 years ago, never even thought about anything like this. And so everything you do is just really trying to find a way to make sure the guys that are on your team understand their role, their value, how we see them developing for their future, and you got to be constantly selling that. I mean, you didn't even think about some of those things in regards to, you did it as a built-in part of what you do, but to have the conversations with guys to try and keep them. Before you're always meeting with them to try and map out the next step for them. Hey, what's the next few months going to look like when we come back after the season's over? Now you're having conversations about convincing them to stay, and sometimes it may even be pretty blunt conversations, but at the same time, that can't just happen right then. There's been a lot of things that have built up to this, and it's been a hard season, and guys get frustrated, and everybody wants to win, and I want to win as much as anybody. And so, but you just stay true to who you are, and you want guys that want to be here, and now they have an opportunity to move around more than ever before. And so I still want to, doesn't change. You want to keep the right guys here, and I want guys, like I said, that have the passion for this program and have the belief that we can, do special things here together. But you got to be proactive with it. I mean, we talk about it all the time as a staff, and it doesn't make you, I don't want it to make us hold guys less accountable. I don't want to ever change that. But you also got to make sure that they don't assume anything. They need to know how you feel about them. They need to know the plan for them. They need to know exactly how you see them being a part of our future. Because I think that's kind of what they want. That's what they want to be. And their families want to know that as well. So, it's definitely added a whole new dimension to everything that we do. And so now you used to think, hey, when the season finishes, you go out and recruit your class. So now season ends, you do that, and you have to recruit your own, which is a whole new, and it's never going to change. It'll be this way from, now moving forward.
Coach, with how the season has gone and getting this unbelievable emotional win this past week, you go into probably the most emotional game of the season. How important is it to get a win at the end of the season to carry that momentum forward versus having that loss and having that taste in your mouth for afterwards?
And I think, you got to continue, as we said today to our players, and I said, man, this is the biggest game of the season. Why? Because it's the next one. I get it. We understand we're playing for a trophy, and a trophy that means a whole lot to this university. So, every year this game has tremendous value, and the stakes are very, very high. I think it's elevated because of the kind of season we've had, and for us to be able to continue the momentum that we were able to generate last week, and have one of the greatest comebacks that we've ever had in our program in a long time. First time winning, in back-to-back games in East Lansing in 53 years. That's history that doesn't happen very often. We got a chance to be a team that has, not many teams have won both of those in the same year. It's happened only 5 times in the history of our program, to win both the Brass Spittoon and the Oaken Bucket in the same year. So the last time it happened here was 2016. So I did not get a chance to play for the Bucket in 2020. So, but the bottom line is that tremendously important game, but you know what? They all are, but it is not just the next game. Okay, it does have tremendous value. There's a lot of things that go into this, and our guys are going to understand that as this week plays itself out. We want them to understand the history of the bucket, and they want to know exactly, what it means, where it came from, why we have a bucket, and because we got 40 new guys on our team that weren't here last year, and we have a new coach on our team, so we're going to make sure. And Coach Deal, who's our staff historian, he'll do a great job. We started that process this morning, and we'll have another one tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, and on Thursday, and on Friday. So, but yeah, this is a great opportunity for our program, and we want to make sure that we send these seniors out the right way in their last home game at Memorial Stadium.
Tom, over here. When you talk about the culture of the program, and when you see what Aaron Casey did, what Brian Fitzgerald did, how much does that reflect the culture of the program, what you're trying to get them to buy in? And obviously it also reflects their own character.
Yeah, I think that it's a direct reflection of their character, and I think that's probably the best way to start, because that's where it all starts, is the individual character of your players, and then that has to transcend into their buy-in to your program, and them wanting to do whatever they got to do to find a way to get on that field, and when they get on that field, find whatever they got to do to make a play to help this team be successful. And then, like I said, even a guy like Sean Shivers, who has just only been here for a year, I mean, that guy refused to be taken out of the game after he just ran almost 80 yards for a touchdown to go cover a kick, and covered 6 kicks because he wanted to. And I could go on and on about the unselfishness of these guys, and sometimes guys get late in the year and the year hasn't gone the way you want it to go, and you start thinking about your future, and I don't know, Cam Jones is busting his tail to play on Saturday, and we still don't know yet if he's going to play. He was out there today trying to work through it, but I'm telling you, that's not normal. Okay, I've been doing this a long, long time, and that's special. And we got a locker room full of these guys that care a whole lot about this program and this university and those who they represent, and they love this team, and they're living out LEO, and that's where the culture piece comes in. I mean, you can talk about it all you want, but it's I don't care how much movement you have as the portal creates it and all the different things with NIL. It still comes down to guys on your team that care more about the guys around them than they care about themselves. And it's getting harder and harder to build that, and I get it for a lot of different reasons. But to me, it's still what makes a team special, especially in the sport of football. It takes so many people to make Jalen Lucas have a chance to go, 88 yards for a touchdown on a kickoff return. Those other 10 guys on the field got to do their job. Every single one of them. One guy doesn't do his job, and it doesn't happen. And so it's a great, great sport that we play in football. And then the culture is huge. The locker room is huge. And I know it gets tested, and it absolutely does. And but when you have strong leaders, you're able to withstand the tests that come and the storms that come, because it doesn't say if they come, it's when they come in this life. And that's why this is such a great teacher of that. So really proud. Even a guy like A.J. Barner, who's battled injuries this whole year. I mean, he makes 2 huge catches. It was hard for us to throw the football and everything with the weather, and just wasn't, but we were running the football well. But anyways, he comes to the end and makes 2 massive plays. He's had a tough year because he's just never really been, super healthy, and I'm just so proud of him. He's one of our leaders, and like I said, there's many guys that I could say about that. I got Zach Carpenter, who's broke his thumb, or had issues with his thumb, and then now he's got snap with his left hand. I mean, I've never coached a guy that's been able to do that. And in those conditions and have good snaps. So just on and on, guys just exhibiting character and toughness, and it's like you said, it starts with themselves individually, and then it just spills over into the team.
Coach, because of the weirdness of the last few years, you haven't hosted Purdue since 2018, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been asked this in the past, but because it's a weekend when the students aren't here, do you have a preference on maybe, with Big Ten scheduling changes, coming?
Well, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I just want to have the best crowd we can, and I hate it that they don't get to have a chance to do that. So, I don't have any say-so whatsoever in the scheduling. But yeah, I mean, to me, you just want your rival game to be a game where everybody's here. All the students are here and everybody in full force. So yeah, I'm all in for that. There's no doubt about it, So you want, I've been other places where you have rivalry games, and they've often fallen this weekend. And so you got to try and find ways, different days we play on. We played at Thanksgiving Day when I was at Ole Miss. We played on Friday night when I was at South Florida against Central Florida. So that was a big game. And so just, the place you've been, we played, I tell you what, you always go back to, you think about rivalry games, the the Monon Bell game between DePaul and Wabash is intense and as awesome and as great as it gets, you know. But so just those games always being played this time of year. So I guess it's always going to have an issue with the calendar maybe. But yeah, I just think when I think of those games, I think of the crowds, the atmosphere, and just the intensity of it just goes to another level. So I'd love to see it to be there. Everybody can be there that wants to be there.
I guess it feels like we've asked you a lot about just kind of your team. What are your impressions of Purdue in particular? I think they're pretty banged up. They've got some guys who are confirmed out for the season, a couple guys like Maccabee who may play, may not play. Just what are your kind of early sort of thoughts on Purdue?
Well, they got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So when you have that, you got a chance to be really, really good. So I think their defense has gotten better. I think their O-line's better. They do run the football way more effectively than they've ran it recently. They got receivers got 93 catches, over 1,000 yards. He's impressive. Really good tight end. Their defense plays hard, and their special teams has been effective. So, you know, I think we're all beat up this time of year. You know, I don't think anybody's got a full roster of guys, and so it's probably relative to this point. So whoever's available, whoever's healthy, is going to go out there, and Coach Brom does a great job. Their kids play really, really hard, and they're always well prepared, and they got a lot of talent. So really good football team, and they got a chance based on how things play out to still be in the mix to win the West, you know. So that's just a testament to their season and the way they've done things there. So obviously a lot of respect for them, a lot of good football players on that team, and we got to fight and claw and scratch to try and find a way to win this very, very important Old Oak and Bucket game. Awesome. Have a great day. Leo.